If we look around, we will notice people in your relation and neighborhood running business in partnership. You will also notice people quitting as well as persons die while being in partnership. Now, these are the happenings and the events that takes place during the lifetime of a partnership firm. And when such happenings and events takes place, there are certain adjustments and issues to be dealt in. Hello students, welcome to Brilliant Group of Institutions, Qatar. And here I am today to discuss one of the important chapter of Class 12 Accountancy, Term 2 examination, that is retirement and death of a partner. Now, retirement and death of a partner are similar units. They are similar units, but we will be doing it as a separate chapter. And though the entire process of retirement and death remains the same, there still exists certain difference between retirement of a partner and death of a partner. Now let's see as to what is the difference between retirement and death of a partner. Retirement is a planned activity wherein the partner decides in advance as to retire. Now the reason as to why the partner might retire or the person might retire is maybe he has become old, or maybe he is sick, or maybe he doesn't have a good relation with his superiors and his colleague. Whereas in case of a death of a partner, it is not a planned activity, but it is very, very uncertain. Okay? And moreover, in case of retirement, time period is not a matter of concern. Now, the reason as to why it is not a matter of concern is because retirement takes place on the date of the balance sheet. Whereas in case of death, time is a matter of concern and time period has to be taken into account because death takes place is after. You have to all remember that retirement is a planned activity whereas death is very uncertain. And in case of retirement, time period is not a matter of concern, whereas in case of death, time period is a matter of concern or it matters. Now, before we go on to the chapter before we go on to find out as to what are the adjustments or the issues that we need to deal in, I would like to explain to you as to what is retirement of a partner. Retirement of a partner means ceasing to be a partner of the firm. Okay, now in simple language, if I have to explain to you about what is retirement, when one partner or more than one partner leaves the firm and the remaining or the existing partners continue their business with new terms and conditions, it is called as retirement of a partner. That means retirement means retiring from the partnership, that is ceasing to be a partner. He no more wants to be a part of the partnership firm. Or when one partner leaves, the remaining partners continue to do their business with the new terms and conditions or with a new agreement. That is called as retirement of a partner. Now, when it comes to retirement or death of a partner, you need to always remember that retirement or death of a partner does not lead to a closure of the firm, but it only leads to reconstitution of the firm. And when I say a reconstitution of the firm, it basically means a change in profit sharing ratio, wherein the existing partnership deed comes to an end and a new partnership deed is being framed with new terms and conditions, and the existing or the remaining partners, they continue to do their business in the new terms and conditions. So basically the existing partnership deed comes to an end and in its place a new partnership deed is being framed. Now, when can a partner retire? There are three ways as to how a partner can retire. Now, the partner can retire is or may retire from the firm is when there is an agreement. You have to keep in your mind, if there is an agreement, the partner can retire. Second is if all the partners agree to his retirement, he can retire. And third one is the partnership is at will, that is by giving a written notice to the other partners that he or she would desire to retire from the firm. So these are the ways as to how a partner can retire. Now, a question arises, when a partner retires, what does he take along with him? A partner will not go out of the firm barehanded. He will definitely take whatever he has to take with him. So let's see as to what are the things that he is going to take with him. Okay, the first one that you have is credit balance of his capital account. The second thing that he is going to take, his share of goodwill. Now, why take a share of goodwill? Because the goodwill of the firm has increased, or you can say the image or the reputation of the firm has increased is because of the hard work and the efforts of the existing partners. So at that particular point of time, even the retiring partner was a part of that particular firm when the goodwill has increased or the reputation of the firm has increased. So he will take his share of goodwill along with him. Third, if there is any undistributed or accumulated profits or losses, he would take that along with him. The fourth thing that he will take along with him is his share of profit on revaluation of assets and liabilities. And the fifth one that he will take is his interest on capital, if any. His salary or commission. So these are the things that a retiring partner will take along with him. The first one that you have is the credit balance of his capital account. Second is a share of goodwill. Third is a share of undistributed profits or undistributed or accumulated profits or losses. His share of profit on revaluation of assets and reassessment of liabilities. And the fifth one is if any interest on capital is to be provided, or salary or commission. Now, as I gave you time to think over the adjustments and the issues to be dealt in when a person quits or when a person dies while being in partnership. So let's now look at the adjustments that has to be dealt in when a partner retires from the firm. The first one that you have is determining new profit sharing ratio and the gaining ratio. This is nothing but your change in profit sharing ratio. Second is the valuation and adjustment of goodwill. Third is the revaluation of assets and reassessment of liabilities. Fourth is the reserves and undistributed profits or accumulated profits or losses. And the last one is computation of retiring partner's interest and payment to the retiring partner. So these are the adjustments that we have to deal in when a partner retires. Now children, you need to remember that these are the basic concepts of this particular chapter. And when you are perfect with these concepts, solving an 8-mark question becomes very, very easy. And today, I'm going to deal with the first adjustment, that is determining of new profit sharing ratio and gaining ratio. Well, now what is a new profit sharing ratio? That ratio in which the remaining or the continuing partners will share their future profits or losses is called as a new profit sharing ratio. Okay, and the new share of the partner is equal to the old share plus the acquired share is the formula of a new profit sharing ratio. Now on the right hand side, you can see there are 4 partners, that is, one is your A, B, C and D. Okay, now their profit sharing, the old ratio was 1, 1, 1 and 1. So they were equal partners, and at this point of time they earned a profit of rupees 1,20,000. So each partner got, how much did each partner get? Each partner gets rupees 30,000. Now it so happens that D is retiring from the firm. And when D is retiring from the firm, now the ratio becomes is 1 between A, B and C. The ratio becomes is 1, 1, 1. Okay. And the profit is again is rupees 1,20,000. So now each partner gets how much? Each partner gets 40,000. Now there is an increase because of retirement of a partner of D. There is an increase in the share of the remaining partner. Okay, that increase is what they have acquired from the retiring partner. So now we are going to learn as what are the different cases in new profit sharing ratio. That is, new profit sharing ratio upon retirement may have to be determined when one partner retires and the new profit sharing ratio among the remaining partner is not given. Or you can say there is no information about the new profit sharing ratio. In that case, you have to calculate the NPSR or the new profit sharing ratio. And the second case is when the remaining partners take the share of the retiring partner in an agreed ratio. Okay, so these are the two cases that we are going to do today. Now let's take a look at the different cases with different questions. You have case A when one partner retires and a new profit sharing ratio among the remaining partner is not given. That means there is no information about the new profit sharing ratio in the question. When there is no information about the new profit sharing ratio, then the old share itself becomes the new share. Okay, now you have three partners, P and Q and R are partners sharing profits in the ratio 1/2, 2/5 and 1/10. Children, remember it's a fraction, and when you have a fraction, you have to first convert them into a ratio. Now you have to find the new profit sharing ratio of the remaining partners if P retires, Q retires and R retires. There are three cases. So basically first you have this P, Q and R. The old ratio that you have is in a fraction, that is 1/2, 2/5 and 1/10. Whenever you have a fraction, children, you have to see which is the highest denominator. Now the highest denominator is in case of R. So you have to make everyone P's denominator as 10 and Q's denominator also 10. Right? So in that case, you have to multiply this 1/2 into 5 into 5. And in here, in place of Q, into 2 into 2. And this is already 1/10. So the old ratio that you have is 5:4:1. Now, in the question they say, if P retires. Now, if P retires, you have PQR. The old ratio is 5:4:1 and here P retires. And I told you, if there is no information with regard to the new profit sharing ratio, the old ratio itself becomes the new ratio of the remaining partners. So now in case of new ratio between whom? Between Q and R, it's going to be 4:1. The second case is if Q retires. So you have P, Q and R. Old ratio is 5:4:1, and in this particular case, Q is retiring. And as I told you, the new ratio between P and R will be 5:1. And the third case that you have is if R retires. P, Q and R, the old ratio is 5:4:1 and R retires. So the new ratio between P and Q is going to be 5:4. I hope this particular concept is clear to you, and you have to keep in mind that if there is no information with regard to the new profit sharing ratio, then the old ratio itself becomes a new ratio. Let's go on to the next case, that is case B, when the remaining partners take share of the retiring partner in an agreed ratio. Now here in this question, there is an agreed ratio given in the question as to how the remaining partner is going to take the retiring partner's share. You have an example, that is X, Y and Z. They are sharing profits and losses in the ratio of 5:3:2, and it is Y who is retiring, and his share, now who is at his? It is the Y share is taken by X and Z in the ratio of 2:1. Now children, you need to remember, if X and Z is taking, that means they are acquiring. Okay, whose share are they acquiring? They are acquiring Y share. So you have three partners, X, Y and Z. The old ratio that you have is 5:3:2. And in the question it says Y retires. And they also say that Y share is taken over by X and it is taken over by Z. In which ratio? In an agreed ratio, that is 2:1. Okay. Now here, first and foremost, you have to find what is the acquired share of X and what is the acquired share of Z. So acquired of X is equal to, that is Y share is 3/10 into 2/3, which is equal to 6/30. So what has X acquired from Y? X has acquired 6/30 from Y. In case of Z, it's going to be 3/10 into 1/3, which is equal to 3/30. Now children, you have to find is the new profit sharing ratio. So the new profit sharing ratio is equal to the old share plus the acquired share. In case of X, what is the old share, children? The old share of X is 5. That's 5/10. And the old share of Z is 2/10. So when we are calculating for X, the old share is 5/10 plus what has he acquired from Y? X has acquired 6/30 from Y. Now to find the LCM 30, so you multiply into 3, which is equal to 15 plus 6 upon 30, which is equal to 21/30. So in case of X, the new profit sharing ratio is 21/30. Now when it comes to Z, the old share is 2/10 plus what has he acquired, children? Z has acquired 3/30. So it is plus 3/30. To make the LCM 30, you multiply into 3, so you get 3 to the 6 plus 3 divided by 30, which is equal to 9/30. So the NPSR between X and Z is equal to 21:9, and you have to make to the least, which is going to be 7:3. I hope this particular two cases are clear to you all. One more question with relation to case B, that is when the remaining partners take their share in an agreed ratio. Now in this question, A, B and C are partners in a firm sharing profits and losses in the ratio of 5:4:3. And who retires? It is B who retires from the firm, and B's share is divided equally between A and C, that is between A and C. You have to calculate the new profit sharing ratio of A and C. The same procedure that you have is A, B, C, old ratio. Now in this question, they have directly given you a ratio 5:4:3, and in the question they say that B retires and B's share is taken over by A and C equally, that is 1:1. Okay, now what is the acquired share? the acquired share of A is equal to, A is acquiring how much? Half of 4. 4 by 12. So 4 by 12 into 1 by 2, which is equal to 4 by 24. Where in case of C, also the same thing, that is you have is 4 by 12 into 1 by 2 because it's half, so it's 4 by 24. So now what is the NPSR? As I already told you, the formula of NPSR is the old share plus the acquired share. So old share plus acquired share is equal to, that means in case of A, what is the old share, children? In case of A, the old share is 5 by 12 and in case of C, it is 3 by 12. So A is 5 by 12 plus what is the acquired share of A, children? It is 4 by 24. So plus 4 by 24. Now to make the LCM 24, you multiply into 2 into 2, which is equal to 10 plus 4 upon 24, which is equal to 14 upon 24. I hope this much is clear to you all. In case of C, what is the old share of C? The old share of C is 3 by 12. So it is 3 by 12 plus what has C acquired from B, that is 4 by 24. So plus 4 by 24. The LCM is 24, so into 2 into 2, which is equal to 6 plus 4 upon 24, which is equal to 10 by 24. So the new profit sharing ratio between A and C is going to be 14:10, which is equal, when you make it to the least, it is 7:5. So to summarize, the two cases in new profit sharing, to calculate the new profit sharing ratio is when there is no information about the NPSR or the new profit sharing ratio, and second one, when the remaining partners share, the retiring partners share in a agreed ratio. Okay. The next concept which you have is the gaining ratio. Now, the ratio in which the continuing partners take the outgoing partner's share or the deceased partner's share is called as the gaining ratio. Now, children, you need to remember, the gaining ratio is always calculated in case of when a partner retires or when a partner dies. And when a partner retires or when a partner dies, his share of profit is taken over by the remaining partner or the existing partner or the continuing partner. And the ratio in which the remaining partner's share increases is called as a gaining ratio. Okay, and you have to remember this gaining ratio in which the is a ratio in which the remaining partners will pay the amount of goodwill to the retiring partner. Now, this particular goodwill part we will be learning as a next adjustment. So, at that particular point of time, I will explain to you in detail. Now, gaining ratio is calculated under following three situations. One, when there is no information. Second, when the new profit sharing ratio is given in the question. Third, when the remaining or the existing partners take over the share of the retiring partner in an agreed ratio. So we will be dealing with these situations one by one. The first one that you have is when there is no agreement or when there is no information about the new profit sharing ratio in the question. Children, put it in your head that when there is no information about or when there is no profit partnership deed or there is no agreement, in that case, the old profit sharing ratio itself becomes the gaining ratio as well, and it also becomes the new profit sharing ratio. So you have to remember the first case when there is no agreement or when there is no information about the new profit sharing ratio. So when there is no information about the new profit sharing ratio, the partners, the existing partners will gain in the same ratio as the old ratio. Now in this question, you have X, Y, Z. They are partners sharing profits and losses in the ratio of 3:2:1. And the question says, find the gaining ratio when Y retires. Now this particular question is just giving you information about their old ratio, which is 3:2:1, and there is no other information. Or you can say there is no information about the new profit sharing ratio at all. So as I told you, when there is no information about the new profit sharing ratio, the old share itself becomes the gaining ratio as well as the new profit sharing ratio. So now in this case, X, Y and Z, the old ratio that you have is 3, 2 and 1, and here your Y retires. Since there is no information, old ratio itself is the gaining ratio. So in that case, the gaining ratio between X and Z is going to be 3:1. I hope this particular case is clear to you all, children. And moving on to the next case that you have is case B, when the new profit sharing ratio is given in the question. Children, remember, whenever a new profit sharing ratio is given in the question, you have to make use of the formula for gaining ratio is the new share of profit minus the old share of profit. In admission, we learned about the sacrificing ratio, which is the old share minus the new share. Whereas in gaining ratio, it is just the opposite of the sacrificing ratio, that is the new share of profit minus the old share of profit. So this particular formula is very, very important from MCQ point of view as well as for solving your question. Now you have a question A, B and C are partners sharing profits and losses in the ratio of 4:3:2. And who retires in the question? It is B who retires. Okay, and A and C decided to share the future profits and losses in the ratio of 5:4. So your old ratio in this question is 4:3:2 and the new ratio that you have is 5:4. So as I told you, to find the gaining ratio, when the question has got the old ratio as well as the new ratio, you put your formula of gaining ratio, that is new ratio minus the old ratio, and you get the answer as to what's the gaining ratio. So here you have three partners, A, B and C. The old ratio that you have is between them is 4:3:2, and the new ratio. And who retires? It is B who retires. So the new ratio is 5:4. Now apply your formula, that is gaining ratio is equal to new ratio minus the old ratio. So in that case for A, it is going to be 5/9, which is the new ratio, okay, minus 4/9, which is equal to 1/9. In case of C, it's going to be 4/9 minus 2/9, which is equal to 2/9. So the gaining ratio between A and C is equal to 1:2. I hope the second case is also clear to you. And next is your third case, that is your last case in case of gaining ratio, when the retiring partner's profit share is taken by the remaining or the continuing partner in a specific ratio. So in the question, they will give you what is the specific ratio. Now here you have is A, B, C, they are sharing profits in the ratio of 3/8, 1/2 and 1/8. Again a fraction in your question, children, and if you get a fraction, you have to first convert the fraction into a ratio. Now A retires, and what is A doing? And surrenders two-thirds of his share in favor of B and the remaining share in favor of C. So you have to calculate the gaining ratio as well as the new profit sharing ratio. Okay, so A is retiring and A surrenders 2/3 of his share in favor of B. So you have A, B and C. The old ratio that you have is 3/8, 1/2 and 1/8. So to make the base 8 into 4 into 4, so the old ratio is 3:4:1, And in the question, it is A who retires. And what is A share? A retires. A share is how much? It's 3 by 8. And 3 by 8. And how are they taking it? B and C. How much is it? A retires and surrenders 2/3 of his share to B. So if he is out of 3 parts, if he is giving 2 parts to B, in that case he is giving C is 1 by 3. Okay, now let's see as to what is the acquired share. Of B is equal to, it's 3 by 8 into 2 by 3, because they are saying in the question that A retires and surrenders 2/3 of his share. What is 2/3 of his share? A share is 3 by 8. 2/3 of 3 by 8 he is giving B. So it's 6 by 24. When it comes to C, it is 3 by 8 into 1 by 3, which is equal to 3 by 24. Acquired, or you can say when A is surrendering. Surrendering means he is giving. If he is giving means B and C is taking, or they are acquiring, or they are gaining. So what's the gaining ratio of B and C? Is equal to 6:3, which is also 2:1. Now, what is the new profit sharing ratio formula? New profit sharing ratio formula is the old share plus the acquired share. So, in that case, you have is B. The old share of B is this 4. That is 4 by 8. 4 by 8 and plus, how much is he acquiring? B is acquiring 6 by 24. Into 3, which is equal to 12 plus 6 upon 24, which is equal to 18 by 24. In case of C, C share is this 1 by 8. So 1 by 8 plus 3 by 24 into 3, that is 3 plus 3 upon 24, which is equal to 6 by 24. So the new profit sharing ratio is equal to 18:6, which is equal to 3:1. About this particular question, I hope this question is clear to you all. And going on to the next part that you have is, what is the distinction or what is the difference between sacrificing ratio and gaining ratio? Now, sacrificing ratio is a ratio in which the old partner surrenders a part of their share in order to bring in the new partner, or in order to accommodate the new partner into the firm. So basically, sacrificing ratio is the old partners surrenders a part of their share. Whereas what is gaining ratio? It is a ratio in which the remaining or the existing partner, they acquire the retiring or the outgoing or the deceased partner's share. So one in sacrificing ratio, the old partners are surrendering their share, and in gaining ratio, the existing or the remaining partners are acquiring the retiring partner's share. Now, when is this particular sacrificing ratio calculated? Sacrificing ratio is always calculated at the admission of a new partner. Whereas in case of gaining ratio, it is calculated at the time of retirement or at the time of death of a partner. The formula you are familiar with, sacrificing ratio is equal to the old ratio, that is the OR minus the NR. So SR is equal to the OR minus the NR. Whereas gaining ratio is equal to the NR minus the OR, that is the new ratio minus the old ratio. Gaining ratio is the reverse of your sacrificing ratio. What is the purpose of calculating the sacrificing ratio and the gaining ratio? The new partner share of goodwill. Now the new partner is coming into the partnership firm. So the old partners, they are sacrificing a part of their share. So the old partners have to be compensated. So the new partner share of goodwill is divided among the old partners in a sacrificing ratio. Whereas what is the purpose of calculating the gaining ratio? The goodwill to retiring partner is paid by the remaining partner in the gaining ratio. So these are the difference between the sacrificing ratio and the gaining ratio. I hope this particular adjustment number 1, that is determination of new profit sharing ratio and gaining ratio, is clear to you all. Thank you, children. I'll be back in the next section with the next adjustment, that is valuation of goodwill. Till then, goodbye.